Welcome, welcome. It's getting to be the holidays, and this is so exciting and so fun. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Just a few days away. Hope you've made your Thanksgiving list, what you're going to have, what everybody wants. We have, and we're so excited. You got to try new things, too. Every year, you got to try some new things. So we thought we'd try new, but still keep the old and just have plenty of food. That's what we decided. But we're really excited to be here today. Today's the last webcast of 2016. It doesn't mean we won't stop doing some other little things, but the last webcast, traditionally we always take December off, and the crew is excited about that. No, we all are. And plus, you guys get a chance to catch up and review and look at the old ones, and there's, I don't know, a lot to look at. You got plenty of information out there. So even though it is our last, we'll still do all our traditional things, and that is we'll answer questions and answers first, or you'll ask the questions and I'll see if I can give the answers. That's the way we'll go. And then we have lots of great ideas for you tonight. So like I said, tonight's topic is holiday dressing. The goal was to make it easy, quick, fun, you know, just to really lift your holidays, and not to where you felt like, oh, I want to make this outfitted. We want it quick, 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 quick. So we have like 9 different ideas for you. Okay, so hopefully that will keep you going. But first, questions.
Nothing come in yet.
What do we have?
And
can they hear?
they can hear, but they're getting a buzz.
Uh-oh.
It's a workload, so we'll keep going.
Okay, we're getting a little buzz, but we're going to keep going.
And we'll see if this helps.
All right, so I was in Chicago last weekend and got out before it got really cold, sort of. And I don't know how y'all do this cold weather stuff. It was 71 today, and it will get colder, but I just, you know, like the warm weather makes me happy. And I don't know if you took that warm weather away from me for 6 months, what I would do. I guess you sew a lot, though. I think that's fair. You get lots of sewing done. And I think we all get used to it. I know we all get used to it, so it doesn't matter. In Chicago, y'all wear really, really warm things. But it was really fun to meet so many new women. It's just my favorite thing to do is to get to know you all. Since you know me, it's fun to get to know you and talk about things we love to do, like sewing. But we discovered some really interesting things, and you know, we'll build those in. We're going to build those into the website. We're going to build in some really great suggestions, and I really appreciate the ladies and their time. All right, do we have questions? Nobody has questions. That means y'all are just so smart. Everything's working. Everything you're doing is working. I have seen some really great outfits, and I would say things are working. You all are doing amazing garments. I love seeing them. One thing that I discovered is sometimes when you do not reach your goal, when you don't make the garment, it doesn't turn out like you like it. I think it's interesting. One of the things we discovered in communication and talking was that you don't know why. You don't know why it didn't work. So I think that's a really interesting observation for me, because we need to focus more on the difference between fit and style. And styling has lots of your personal opinions involved. I really tried hard to kind of tone down those personal opinions. I always tell you to shop, 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 shop. And the reason I tell you to shop, shop, shop is so that you can understand what you like about clothes and why you buy them. The fit is repeatable every time you do something. LCD, LCD, LCD. We've talked about that so much. So I think that it's interesting to me that as we do this process, and if you don't reach that goal, that you don't know why. And that's not good. That's probably not good. But it has to, you've got to break it down. It has to be either fit or style. It has to be one of those two. And the pattern fabric combination, we talked a lot about that, because fabric pattern combination is something that is a little tricky for some of you yet. We have a video that we did, The Fabric Always Wins, and I'm really going to suggest that to you. I really don't do videos just to do them. I really do them because I think that they will really help you.
We're going to try to switch the mic.
Okay, so we're going to switch the mic. Hold on for a minute. we should be good to go, and the sound should be there. And hopefully the sound, I do see that the sound is there. Hang on just a little bit. We'll get this. I really like that new mic. It snugged in. I could hear. I really liked it, but I guess it's not going to happen. But that's okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead because our technical team is kind of behind the scenes and they're kind of busy and not watching the monitor for questions. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with the ideas because we've got a lot of good ideas, and then we can kind of flip it. We can do questions toward the end or in the middle or whatever. But anyway, my goal tonight was to really give you 9 ideas. I was going to hit a dozen, but I just didn't quite make it. That were really simple for you, quick and easy, that we would feel you'd really feel comfortable in. So we're going to start with, again, the simplest and then work up, because we have all different level sewers out there. Some of you really like to make the pattern and you like to play with the pattern, you like to do different things. Others of you don't want to touch a pattern, you just want to take it right out of the box and make it. So we kind of looked at both of you. All right, so we're going to start with these right here. Can you get to that? I'm not sure. They're all busy back there, but anyway. Okay, so these right here, this idea was I got from Lululemon. And Lululemon, as we know, is yoga pants and things like that that are really expensive. These little leggings were over $100, and literally they had 9 little crystals, just like that, right down the front of the leg. So that's going to take you no time at all. It jazzes your leggings up a little bit. I think it's adorable. I think all year long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 little leggings. They start about 3 inches, 2 inches from the bottom and go up. And they're just too cute. We have these crystals. We sell these crystals. They're little iron-on crystals. You iron them on. It's a 3-minute project. But it gives a little holiday treat to some black leggings that are just regular and not anything on them. Okay, then we're going to do, I'm going to switch over to here because we've talked a lot about rectangular pieces of fabric. And I saw this at Nordstrom's and it was $150. And again, right there, it was that same size rectangular piece, just done one more different way. So I'm not sure how many more ways I'll find it, but it's fascinating to me that they're all out there in the stores like right now. All of these differences. So what this is I took the fabric and I folded it in half. So this is the width of the fabric this way. So in fact, this is selvage at the bottom. I didn't even hem the bottom. And I took 1 yard of length. You can make it a little longer if you wanted to. Just measure how wide you want it from arm to arm. I wanted it elbow to elbow. So I took a yard because I didn't want it long, long, long. I just wanted a yard. And so what you're going to do is come into the center and you're going to cut out 15 inches. And that 15 inches is to get your head on. And so I made a slit and I hemmed it all the way around. Okay, so then to make the kind of sleeve-like things, you just, again, start from the center of the bottom. You go out and make sure it's going to cover your hips. So if your hips are 40, you've got to go out 20 in the front, 20 in the back, and you sew the 2 sides together. So you put the 2 sides here together, sew them from the bottom, go up about 12 inches, and then stop. And that's what will make your little, your little sleeve-like thing. Okay, easy enough? And again, pick out a favorite fabric you love for the holidays. This was called our Holiday Red. I loved it. Just pick out something you love, and you've got to hem all the edges of the sleeve. I didn't do the bottom because that was selvage, and then I just hemmed the neckline. So it's beautiful, it's flowy, it's really pretty. Just pick a great fabric that you love. This is actually a knit, and it's a little bit of a netting. So it's very light, literally like weighs almost next to nothing. So if you are cold outside and you want to put your coat on, and then once you go in, you give up your coat and you could just throw this on, that would be really easy to do. What I did is at the waistline, I made a buttonhole. Once I stitched up, I made a buttonhole on both sides, right at the top. So if I wanted to, I could put a belt on, and I love the belt. I really like it with the belt. It's really cute. I mean, I really like it. You have to try it on, because when it's on, it's really nice. Okay, so how we doing?
Doing good. We got a question.
Okay. Question is, I made the yoga pants. I'm going to try the woven yoga pants. Do I make the same alterations in the rise? Yes. the same base, and you'll find that you make the same alterations on those too. My question is, what fabric and pattern is Peggy wearing? This is pattern 312, and the crushed red velvet is new. I'm going to show you how to do this neck treatment. I love this. I really like it. I'm playing Mrs. Claus tonight. That's who I am, but I really like this. It's really comfortable. This crushed velvet is really stylish for this fall. So we got it in a red and a gray, and they're both great colors. This is the gray. I'll show it to you here in just a little bit. Okay. Okay. So we've got the Lululemon crystals. We've got this little cape thing. And the next thing we're going to do is go to the purple. So this was one of my 25. This is pattern number 216. And I love it. It's that asymmetric top. I just love it. I have made it out of this purple mohair. And I decided that I really wanted the little purple neck piece. And we've had these, and I didn't really realize that they matched. Like, they matched perfect. So, and the neckline, I didn't even have to change the neckline. So literally all I did was sew it on. I sewed it on the neck edge, around, and then down here. So I sewed it on the outside and the inside. And then I came back and just put some crystals on there. And I love it. I like it even better than I liked before. And because it's wintry, I think wintry has a tendency that we can have a little bit of glitz to wintry. And I think it looks great. Okay, so see, again, very, very easy to do. We're going to step up the little neck pieces because we have another one that's pretty cool. And I'm going to show you how to do that, which is this one. Now, this one, this is a new fabric we've got in, and I'm going to undo it so you can see. This is like netting, but it's stretch, and it stretches in both directions. A lot of times, y'all, they're making sleeves out of these, or they're doing inserts for like the top of a dress. They're doing all kinds of beautiful things with it. I was really excited to find the fabric. I was really excited to get it. I made 196. So I'm going to leave that open for just a little bit because what's underneath is 4,000, the swing dress. And I put the neck on 4,000. I made this out of a Pontoroma. It's just a black Pontoroma, but it's beautiful. I mean, it's really, really pretty. It's pretty on. I'm going to show you how I did it. So this is the neck piece. And when you look at it, you'll see that there's netting. All the beads and all the sequins are all put onto the netting. So here is the pattern. And what I did is I took the 4,000 dress and I shortened it, because I wanted just a tunic. And actually, I didn't shorten it straight across. I actually made it asymmetric at the bottom. So you can see that one side is longer than the other side. I first got the idea, I actually had cut it straight. And when I was in Chicago, one of the ladies had on a tunic and it was angled at the bottom and I loved it. But then I saw something additional and I saw that they were uneven. So I actually did differences in the front to the back, and I like it even better. And that's how we're seeing a lot of tops today where like the back is 3 inches longer than the front, but this front is 2 inches longer than the back. They're just all kinds of crooked asymmetric hems, and I really like them. So that's what I did with this. And when I have it on, I just love it. It's just really, feels really contemporary, and I really like it. Okay, so the first thing I did was I shortened it, and then like I said, you could make it even asymmetric, or you can make it uneven asymmetric, whichever you want. Then what you're going to do is take the inside of this lace. All these beads and all these sequins are done onto the lace. The last row of beads, which is actually the neck edge, is really what you're going to lay onto the pattern. And you're going to lay, obviously, this portion right there in the center at the center, and then this portion right here at the shoulder seam. And you can either, give yourself some seam allowance, not at center front, because in this pattern it's cut on the fold, but slide it down so that you have some seam allowance at the shoulder. And then just cut that neck edge. So what I did is I used my French curve, laid it down, picked up the numbers, and then I cut off, again, leave a seam allowance because you've got to tuck it under. I cut off the neck edge to equal this piece. This piece, whatever shape of the neck edge is, that's what you're going to trace onto your pattern. They'll all follow a French curve, they all do, and just like I said, follow the row of beading. Don't worry about the netting just yet. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that. Okay? So once I've cut my pattern and I've got it all done, I'm going to lay the piece onto my fabric, and I'm just going to stitch. I used a zipper foot so that I could stitch right along the beading, just right along, all the way around, and I stitched on the inside edge. Now, what I did is I hemmed my neckline first with my 3/8 inch seam allowance. You don't have to. You could go ahead and leave it up and then turn it under. No, you can't either. You've got to hem it first, I'm sorry, because otherwise you have to stitch through the beads and you don't want to do that. So you've got to finish the neck edge first and then go back and stitch on the beads, which I did. So that's why you're going to cut the neckline to equal your beads and hem it so that you can just stitch your beads right on, and like I said, you can go right on along the netting. Then you're going to come along with some, and go around the outside, do the inside, and do the ends. And then you're going to come along with little scissors and you're just going to cut away that netting so that when it's done, you just can't even see the netting. I mean, it's there, and obviously you're going to do it on black fabric. You're not going to do it on any other kind of fabric, but you can't even see that netting. I mean, I'm right here and I can't even see it. We're going to do a little close-up of it, so, but you can't see it. So, but you can see that my neckline's hemmed, and you can see that you don't have to get it right on. You can leave a little bit of black there, and that's okay. Yeah, it's just really, really beautiful. And then what I decided is, just because I wanted it to be sleeveless, I wanted it almost to be a tunic, partly so I could wear it in the summertime. Then I did this mesh netting over it, and this is now 196. So again, just cute, 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 easy, easy. Okay, but think about asymmetric hems, because so many of our hems right now are asymmetric, and it took me seeing the lady in Chicago in our class to say, hey, I love that asymmetric hem on you. I should make this asymmetric, not straight. It was initially straight, and then I just made it crooked. And that was very easy to do. So these neck pieces are really fun. This one we've got on the site. We've got a couple on the site, but there are a lot of places. And they used to be even more because I think they were just really, really popular, but they're still out there. In fact, I saw one on St. John, which I thought, wow. And it was not cheap. All right, so we've got that. What if I don't like my neck so low, I get cold in the winter? Well, you're going to a party. You're going to be inside, so just put a coat over. Put a scarf. Use a scarf. Just wrap a scarf around your neck until you go inside. And then take it away. But if you don't like that, then don't make it. Don't use it. I don't know. You're like, I'd use a scarf. Just put a scarf around it until you get inside and then take it off. Okay. Are we okay? Will there be a sew-along in December? Yes. We're going to announce tonight, in fact, officially right now, there'll be a sew-along on December 3rd. Watch for the time. I think we're going to do it 10 to 1. We're going to do Carol's jacket, number 900. I'm going to sew a jacket. Jackets are incredibly popular this fall, and everybody should have a jean jacket. So we're going to do pattern number 900, the jean jacket. Okay? And that's a week from this Saturday. It's not even 2 weeks away. It's a week from this Saturday. Okay. How are we doing? We're okay? I want to show you this because there is a trend right now in holiday dressing that we're seeing a lot of full skirts. A lot of full skirts. So I'm going to explain to you how I made this and how easy it is for you to make it. I started with a 2-inch wide elastic, and you all know we have that elastic at a ridiculously great price right now. In fact, it's 50% off. It's our Black Friday sale. Our Black Friday sale is going for a week. Well, it's going from Friday. Last Friday to Sunday is when it's going. And the reason we did that is because well, I think last year was such a nightmare that we decided to try to avoid it, but still get some specials for you. So we just started early. Everybody else was. We figured we could too. Okay, so I started with a 2-inch wide elastic. A lot of the elastics, you guys, they're showing, they're exposed, they're on the outside, but they're pretty. Our black elastic, our white elastic is really pretty, and it's 2 inches wide. So what I did is I cut that to equal my waist. Then I took this netting, and again, the goal here tonight is for you to understand that you could use any fabric you could do it anything. The reason I did it on the black elastic is because you have a tank top that you can just make a skirt for. And there's so many little tank dresses out there that I thought instead of making a tank dress, we'll just put this over anything. So you could also do a slip underneath if you wanted to literally do this. You wouldn't wear this just by itself. But at the bottom, this is just the selvage. So I didn't hem it or anything. But I took 2 yards, 2.5 yards. I only made 2 seams because I took the width it was and I cut it in half, and then I made it twice as wide. So I used my 2 yards. This is like 100 inches at the bottom. But again, you could make yours as full or as not as full as you wanted to. I divided the waistband into fourths. I divided the fabric into fourths. So the fabric itself was like a big circle. I just sewed a seam there and a seam there. So once I cut it in half, I sewed the 2 ends. So I had this big old circle. And then you just start pleating it into the waistband. And you've got to divide it by fourths because you got to know how much to get into what amount, and you want it to be even all the way around. So all I did was make a big pleat, put a pin, make a big pleat, put a pin, and then it took me a couple times to figure out how big the pleats had to be. I mean, you could work it backwards. You could say that I wanted, but it's got about 100 inches at the bottom, and it's just pleated in. So it could be silk. It could be, gosh, any fabric imaginable. And when you put it on, it's just adorable. There's a lot of these out in the stores right now. And they're just literally on top of dresses. You could do the same fabric, on top of tops. You could do the exact same fabric if you wanted to. I just wanted you to show you a really easy way to do it. Don't need a pattern. Just pleat it into the elastic band, and that's it. You could cover the elastic band if you wanted to, but like I said, so many elastic bands are actually on the outside now. It's pretty common, so you don't have to finish it at all. Hey, do you remember Saucony Sue brand from the 60s? Elastic top gathered skirt. I don't. 60s. I was only born then, you guys. Can you dye the elastic? You can. It's a poly elastic, so obviously not the black, but yeah, you could dye the white. We have a couple decorative elastics too. That would be cute. There's like a leopard, or there's different decorative elastics also. All right, are we okay with that? Okay, what was the name? What, Saucony Sue? I don't remember Saucony Sue from the 60s. I was too little, but I've studied fashion. I still don't know who Saucony Sue was. Sorry about that. I'm just so young, I don't remember that. Ha ha. Okay, so it brings us to the one I have on, which is 312. We did a little pattern grouping. It's called 3 for Holiday. It's 312, 550, and 4000. They're all meant to be really simple. You could do a little dress out of this. I actually did it. I have leggings on underneath, but it could easily be a cute little dress if you wanted to wear a holiday dress by just extending it. So then what I did is I've seen quite a few that have little lace inserts. So we have a little stretch lace on our site, and I put the 2 reds together. And all I did, and don't try to make it even. It's really fun to make it kind of curvy, and I don't know. The lace is soft and it's got little flowers in it. So what I did is I put the lace behind the fabric. And so I made the whole thing. I hemmed the neck edge, and then I put the lace behind, and I came down about 3 inches. Put the lace behind, and from the back side, I just kind of stitched like around the flowers, kind of. But keep the same amount going around, about. Like I said, I kind of curved it. And then sew the top, go all the way around, then sew the bottom, go all the way around, and then just very carefully from the right side, cut out the velvet. And the velvet edge doesn't need to be finished. I actually got the idea from a little top in Nordstrom's. Just as cute as can be, but it's all raw edges. I actually tried it 2 ways. So I tried it with the lace on top, and then I just cut around the stitching. And then I tried it with the lace underneath on the inside of the velvet and cut out the velvet. And I like the lace behind. I just did. It looks like it has more depth to it, and I just really like the way it looked better. So it's your choice. I know either way is kind of hard to see here, but just kind of try it both ways. You might like it the opposite. One is you put the lace on top, stitch around the lace, and then you cut the velvet out from the back. And then the other way is to put the lace behind, stitch it, and then cut the velvet. I know that sounds weird, but it just is, it gives you a different effect, just depending on which way you want to do it. So again, my lace edge kind of is curvy, just like the lace. It's not straight. I don't think it looks good straight. I actually tried it straight in the beginning. I was playing with samples. I just didn't like the way it looked. It looked too rigid. So I just kind of curved it and waved. I didn't really measure, but I just kept it the same amount down all the way around. And I went all the way around the back. So you can see it's in the back as well. It's all the way. Okay? Okay. This top, 312, is the best fitting, easiest little top you'll ever make. It's a kimono sleeve. It's quick. It's just simple. So simple. Like, you know, match your threads, go to town. You'll have it made in no time. And it's just fun. Okay. We good? All right. So now we're going to start playing with, you know, we noticed there was no pattern changes. We just kind of added things on or took things away. Now we're going to do a few pattern changes. So I love this next top. This is called the cowl neck, but it has black inserts on the side. So the front and the back are the cowl. I mean, it's all the cowl pattern. This is very easy to do, but you notice the inserts and the sleeves are all black. And because I love the little crystals, you know, it's the holidays, I had to throw those on also. So a couple little tips. This is a new fabric we just put up. Polka dots are very popular for the holidays. So this has polka dots, and I love the polka dots with the crystals. I think it blended really well together. So let me show you the pattern work for this. And see, I can wear this top with my little leggings. Let's look at the pattern work for that, because everybody can do this, and it just won't take you that long. Here's the cowl neck. This is what it looks like. So you can see that all I did was came right about the notch area on the sleeve and literally cut it apart. I cut it all the way down to the bottom from the notch area here, about 3 inches on the side. You don't want to, you want a little bit, you don't want to have that black side panel be too narrow. So from here, I cut it all down. You add seam allowance to these two sides. This is black, this is print. You sew it back together. Easy enough? I do the same thing on the back. My center front is on the fold. I did the same thing. I came in where the, whoops, it's upside down, sorry. I came in where the notch was on the sleeve. Now, and then went all the way down, and again, this piece is black. So don't forget to add seam allowances, then sew back together. So when you sew these two together, that's the width of your side panel. So the best thing to do is to first decide, how wide do I want my side panel to be? I wanted it to just be there but not be really obvious, and I didn't want it to get into the cowl, so notice I kept it over at the armhole. I kept it over close to the armhole. So a couple things I need to tell you about this, and I've seen this problem, so I'm going to kind of give you a warning over and over and over. This top is really cute on. The cowl neck is meant for a woven fabric. You can't do you can't have negative ease in a cowl because it pulls the cowl. Depends on where the cowl is. This cowl is kind of up here. Notice it's not at the bust line. So what you want to do is, the cowl is a woven fabric. I can use a knit, but I don't want to go down in size. But in this case, I wanted a knit sleeve. So what I did is I used my sweater set sleeve and I used my sweater set armhole. So be really, really careful of that, because I've seen so many women, they say, okay, I want the knit, I want the cowl, and then they make the sleeve that's on the pattern, and the sleeve that's on the pattern is a woven sleeve, and it ends up being not what they want because it's out of a knit. So be aware it's for wovens. It can be made out of knits, but you've got to change out the sleeve. So when I was copying it, and you can kind of see on these little pieces here, I put on my knit armhole, and so I had to raise the armhole first before I cut off these side panels. So put on your knit sleeve, raise your armhole to what it needs to be for the knit sleeve, then cut your side panels, add seam allowance, sew it back together. You all know that this did not, it took me longer to decide what fabrics I was going to use. So this is a new fabric we put up, and then this side was a black rayon knit. But it's so cute, it's so slimming, and then a few little crystals. I had told you a little while ago, and I'm going to remind you, when you do a cowl, I've used, like, I use zippers all the time, but these are great for weights. So on the inside of the neckline here, I just take a zipper and just take a portion of like I put zippers in all kinds of things, so I'm always having parts left. So I just took about 2 inches, 3 inches, whatever. It's a great weight for the inside of a cowl. So all I did is sew it to the center piece of the neck edge, just right there in the center. Just sew it on. After I hemmed it, and then I put the little zipper on, and then it'll just fold to the inside. And again, it makes a really nice way to keep that cowl really pretty. Just holds it really well. Okay, easy enough. Great little top for the holidays. Very, very simple to do. And again, to do that color blocking on a cowl, I think it's a great combination of fabric and pattern. All right, any questions on that? Are we good? Okay, we're going to step it up now. For those of you who love pattern work, here we go.
We do have one question.
All right. We've got more jobs than we have people for. For a cowl knit top, could you cut out 40-15 with the ungathered half on the fabric? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 40-15 is a cowl. Yeah, you just have to change the bottom. Yes. And then you still have to do the sides. Okay? Either way, doesn't matter. Okay, so
How can you make the cowl higher?
how can you make the cowl higher? If you pull out a cowl neck, it pulls out higher, like it's higher actually than the front, because that's what makes it droop down. And you're gonna see that it's a straight line. It goes from the neck edge to this point. Take it up this way. So just go up more dramatically from this point to this point. I'm sorry, you guys, I can't get it to hold still. Just go from, well, just when you lay it flat, you'll see it. Just go from this point and come up here. And so the higher it is up that way, the more it will come back here. Okay, that was a really bad explanation, but I think you got it. Okay. All right, so we're going to go to this mannequin now. This outfit I saw was a St. John, and this St. John was over $1,000. I mean, I just loved it. I thought it was simple and beautiful. So you're just going to use, this is the sweater set. And again, I'm going to go through the pattern work. It's very simple, but it's just I think it's a great fun little challenge. So many of you have the sweater set. It fits well. You love it. So this is a great opportunity to just take the sweater set and step it up a notch. So what I did is the knit fabric on the cowl shirt up. Is the knit fabric on the cowl a Pontorama knit? No, Pontorama is too heavy for the cowl to me. This is a ITY and the side is a rayon. It needs more drape. Pontorama doesn't have enough drape. Even on the sides, I don't think it's a good match, personally. I didn't use it, and I guess maybe that's taste, because those side panels don't need to have any drape to them, but I think it's too heavy and light. I think, Okay, so you're going to take, I'm going to show you these pieces. Okay, so you're going to take the sweater set and you're going to duplicate it. Double it. So basically, a pattern comes in half. You're going to lay it out. You're going to make the whole thing. And I added 6 inches to the bottom because I wanted it to be long and I wanted to be able to, wear leggings. If you think leggings are my uniform, you're correct. I love them. Every day you just throw on leggings and you throw on a gray top and people think you spent hours dressing and you took about 5 minutes. But anyway, so I made it longer for that. So I added length to it. Obviously you don't have to. You can kind of do whatever you want. So then what you're going to do is you're going to cut from one side to another. You're going to start at the left shoulder. This is the back, so it's actually the right shoulder. I'm showing you the back first because the back is just a little bit easier. And just make a design line going from one side, curving. I used my French curve to go down to the bottom. Don't go any narrower than that 3 inches there because otherwise it's too little. Okay, so that's the back. Then when you cut it apart, I notched it in a couple places, add seam allowance. And then what I did is I wrote the color on. So this is going to be gray, this is going to be black. I was making it, well, silver, whatever. I was making it in silver and gray. So there's my back. And so this is my black, and this is my silver. Now, just a suggestion. Now, I actually made it exactly how St. John had done it. But you know what? Once I got it made, and I love it on. I mean, it's really flattering. I love it. But I'm going to tell you something. I would have made the smaller piece gray and the bigger piece black. And I only say that because it would be more slimming. Again, I like it on. I don't have a problem with it. But it really would be more slimming to have the gray up here. I do like the silver. I mean, I love the silver and I love the crushed velvet. I don't know. I just said that. Maybe I wouldn't do it that way because I just really like this. But just an idea that if you really want to look the thinnest you can, put the black down here and put the gray up here. It'll act a little bit more as a focal point. You know, switch the colors. But the point being is right on the pattern pieces, which one is which, because you've got to put them face up. You can't switch them. And you want to make sure that you've got the right color on the right piece of fabric. Because if you don't, you know, you can't switch it. If you look at the side, you'll notice the side piece comes in there. It's dark. It's very attractive. And if you look at this side, you notice that it's just beautiful. It's really, really pretty. Also notice that one sleeve matches the gray and one sleeve matches the black. So you're going to have your sleeves and you're going to cut one of each. Okay, then for the front, again, very easy, basically the same thing, except you're going to cut out this little hole here. And don't make it too wide, because if it's too wide, it will gap. But make it, mine's about 6 inches long, about 2 inches wide. And I wouldn't go much more than that, because it loses stability. So then what I did is I put these two pieces together, the same, this is the front now, and I did the same thing. Make sure the width of your shoulder matches so that when the piece comes across your shoulder up here, it matches. You're not going into the side seam, you're not going through the darts. It's very, very simple to do this. Just come along and create your two pieces. Then to create your little opening, just what I did is I took my French curve and I just kind of made them a little bit wider. Instead of having a cut, I just bowed out each edge. And then when I cut the whole thing out, I added seam allowance. So each of these had seam allowance to be hemmed. Now also keep in mind that I added piping. I've got a leather piping that's coming down the front. Both fabrics have to be stretched. Obviously this is a sweater set, but you can use any piping in there because the piping's going vertical. So like I said, I used just a leather piping all the way up. And you can see it right here a lot, and it's really nice because it holds that opening firm. You don't have to use any piping. You can just have the opening there. I mean, it's really pretty. I just really, really like it. And so all I'm doing is creating a design line. Notice, don't cut through the bust point. Leave the darts alone. Come through at an angle, and then curve it when you get to the bottom. Use your French curve. And it's a fun design. For my French curve down here, I went this way for the hips. I went this way in the middle, and then I went this way when I was at the top. So I just kind of turned all the way down. And it's just a design line, so it's just a really fun design line. And the best thing about doing all this stuff is if you don't like what you do, you'll get better. But this is the combination of these two fabrics. I worried a little bit about that because I wanted the weight to be similar. They're really not similar, but they worked really well together. This is a black mohair, and it's lightweight. It's a very beautiful, stable knit, but it's very lightweight. And the crushed velvet, it's light too, but it's definitely heavier. And the combination of the two of them, I just really, I love it. It's home run. I really like what I did. Okay, so, how are we doing?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So we got through 9 ideas. Can you see that it's obviously not hard if we got through all 9 ideas in our 45 minutes? Can you describe how to determine the correct proportion of the length of the peplum skirt? Is this the peplum skirt? Okay, so this, you guys, is a 1 to 2. So basically, if you measure from shoulder to knee, I'm going to use myself, I'm 40. I'm 16 inches to my waist, 16 waist to knee is 24, 16 and 24 is 40. So when I do something like this, I take my measurement to my waist, the 1, and I double it and do 32. So 16, double that, this would be 32. Now you can do it knee length, you could do 24 inches, but I opted, this fabric was 60 inches wide when I cut it in half. I had the 30 and 30. 30 is what I did, but I put it a little below the elastic, so for me that made it 32. If you want it shorter, you want to cut off of this edge, and that way you still don't have to hem the bottom. You can just use the selvage across the bottom. If the fabric is woven and it's pleated to the elastic, how will the waist still stretch? Why wouldn't the waist stretch? The fabric is woven. I don't think the fabric matters. How will it still stretch? I don't know, but it does. I didn't think that through. I just saw it in the store and copied it. I don't know, but it does. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a, it does. I got it on without any problem. I mean, I didn't think of that, to be honest. Like I said, I saw this in the store and I thought, hey, that's a really cool, easy idea. And because it's everywhere, it's all over the place, I just decided to do it, but it does stretch. And I could get it on without any problem. Would an ITY knit work with the silver? I think so. I think so. I think it does. I think the key is, and the reason I used 195 to do this, well, first off, it was the right pattern. But it fits so well. The 195 fits so well. So many of you have fitted it to yourselves that I don't think the textures really make that much difference, because once you put it on, it fits. The shoulders fit well, the bust, everything fits really well. So obviously I only made it out of 2 fabrics I made it out of, but I mean, I just love it. I just really, really like it. Especially when I see an idea like this and I think it's so unusual and so different. $1,200, and then the little top took me, I don't know, an hour, hour and a half to make. 2 hours maybe to make the pattern. I was watching TV. But anyway, one thing I'm going to tell you, when you're using different colors like this, always come back in, like when I top stitch, like at the bottom, I'm top stitching in the front with the gray, and then when I go to top stitch the hem, I change my thread to black. So this sleeve is top stitched in black and that sleeve is top stitched in gray. Don't be lazy and leave the same thread on all the way around. It just really cheapens it. It looks so much more rich to have the right color fabric top stitch with, especially when you're blending and doing color blocking like that. It really makes a difference. If I go back to this one, I used black all the way around, but you can't even see the black on this because it's got a black background. So something like that is okay. All right, how are we doing? Are we having fun yet? Sorry, on Giorgio's top with a peplum skirt, I've heard different lengths are more proportional and look better if you're a hippie or not. That was my question. Oh, sorry. Answered completely the wrong question. You didn't even ask that. Whenever you're doing, like the top I have on, I just lengthen it to cover my bum. And everybody, if you just lengthen it to cover your bum, you're going to be in good shape because everybody's proportioned to that point. So I personally wouldn't, I don't know if I'd go shorter than that. I mean, I guess if you're doing a dress, you're going to go to your knee. If you're going to go shorter, you could just do exactly what the pattern is. So just pick the height on you that works for top. And I don't consider it a peplum. I wouldn't even worry that it's a peplum or think that it's a peplum. Just do whatever you normally would do for a top. Okay? Okay, when switching on top stitching, do you back stitch? I don't. I don't. But you can. I don't back stitch because I just cut the threads. There's not enough tension on it to pull anything. So I just stop the thread, cut it, and start the next one. I started right on top of it though. Maybe that's a little back stitch. Can you tell us more about the sew along? What pattern, fitting tips, fabric suggestions so we can be prepared? Okay. We're using pattern number 900, Carol's jacket. The fabrics we have not decided yet. We've narrowed it down to a few, but I haven't decided yet. I picked Carol's jacket because several reasons. The main reason is because it's everywhere for fall. Everybody should have a jean jacket. I don't care how old you are, young you are. It seems Carol's jacket to me penetrates all ages. It's something that all of our audience can do and participate in. If you've got children or great-grand, whatever, it's a great way to interest them in sewing. Have them come and sew along or make one for them or have them make parts of it or whatever. And it fits really well. This pattern fits incredibly well. I would say that probably the only change that anybody ever makes is the angle of the shoulder seam. It's got a great sleeve on it with a cuff, a placket. I've taken that sleeve and put it on other blouses. So for many of you who have said, oh, I love sleeves, I want a sleeve, but I want a more, fitted sleeve, and I want a cuff, and I want all that, we're going to sew that. We're going to show you how to sew that, and then you can put on any of the blouse patterns. So I think it's a great way to put a little sewing in there, put a little fitting, and there's some great industry methods that are used when doing the jean jacket. So I wanted to show you those. Okay? On the St. John top with a cutout, show your bra strap. Does the hole show much? No, just place it to where you want it to be. Like, my bra strap goes to the side over here. So that doesn't show anything for me. But just think about that when you cut from the shoulder. That's why my cut is very close to the neck edge as opposed to the shoulder edge. If this seam is, mine is 3 inches wide, I'm only like a ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch in from the neck edge so that still is covered. Okay? We good? All right. You guys, we're just so excited. We've got so many great specials going on for Black Friday. Now is the time to buy elastic, interfacing. Oh my gosh. All 5 seasons Fit to Stitch are on sale. Our new Pocket DVD video is on sale. I get so many Pocket questions. There's so many times I want to say, watch the DVD, but I don't. But I answer the question. But you wouldn't have as many questions. What else do we have on sale? We have the dress form on sale. We have the Sew Steady, the table on sale. If you buy the table or the serger, you get a free travel bag. That's from Sew Steady. We really appreciate their support on doing that. Just know that it's holiday time and tables will be a little slow. So this is a great excuse. This week also, tomorrow, the next day, we'll have all the workshops up all through the end of August. We'll put the spiffy up because many of you have said to me, I'm getting this for Christmas. Can you have it up? Yes, we'll have all those workshops up through the end of August. Okay? And everybody's typing and working back there. I have no idea what's going on. Did you put pleats at the center front of the cowl neck top with the crystals? Yeah, just at the waist is what I did. I just put some pleats here, just for decoration. Actually, just because the one I saw in the store had done it, and I thought it was really cute. And when I tried it on, it was just a great way to pull it into the body, and I really liked it. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. I love this cowl neck with the color blocking. Cowl necks are so great, and they're so contemporary, and that color blocking, man, it just really brings it in so fresh and so current that takes a classic like the cowl and it kind of twists it up and makes it so fresh and current. And I just really, really like it. And tonight it was really hard to figure out what I was going to wear because I had so much fun making all of this stuff. So you can see now that I'm a little over my 25, but I know y'all will forgive me. It's the holidays. And so I'm ready for the holidays. And it didn't take that much, it really just didn't take that much time. I know y'all can do this. Are we good? All right. So we're going to say goodnight. 2016, oh my gosh, we'll see you again at the sew along. We'll see you in about 10 days, not about 2 weeks at the sew along. So we won't even say Happy New Year yet, but we will say Happy Thanksgiving. And we hope you all have a wonderful time with your families. There's a lot of bad weather out there. Please be careful. Please be careful. These crazy people that drive so fast absolutely drive me nuts. So slow down, be careful, but have a happy Thanksgiving. All right, and happy sewing to all of you. Thank you, and we'll see you in a little bit. Good night.